Listen carefully. There is a reason your life has felt heavier than everyone else's. There is a reason people walked away from you. There is a reason you cried in silence while others celebrated. There is a reason you have felt forgotten, rejected, misunderstood, and spiritually exhausted. Because heaven has been preparing something your enemies cannot stop. God is preparing a table in front of your enemies, and your honor is about to be seen. Hear this clearly. The people who mocked you, the people who betrayed you, the people who secretly prayed for your downfall, they are about to witness what happens when God places his hand on someone chosen. You thought the delay meant denial, but God was hiding you, protecting you, strengthening you, preparing you in isolation. And now, what was hidden is about to rise. This message is not for everyone. This message is for the one who has been fighting silent battles, the one who kept loving after heartbreak, the one who kept praying while heaven felt silent, the one who almost gave up, but something deep inside refused to die. That was not luck. That was God, because chosen people are built differently. They suffer differently. They feel deeply. They carry wounds nobody understands. And before God elevates them, he separates them. You were never abandoned. You were being prepared. God is saying, do not fear the silence. Do not fear the loneliness. Do not fear the betrayal. I was using every painful moment to shape your destiny. Listen, some of you have been under spiritual warfare for years. You noticed people changing around you. You noticed fake love, fake support, fake loyalty. You felt energy shift. You felt disconnected from places you once belonged. Because God was removing what could not go where you are going. And now the season is changing. The crying season is ending. The hidden season is ending. The waiting season is ending. Your enemies thought they buried you, but they planted you. And what God plants, he resurrects. Tonight, heaven is sending a warning. The chosen one is rising, and nothing can stop what God has already spoken. Listen carefully. One of the hardest things about being chosen by God is that nobody understands what he is doing with your life. Not even you. There were seasons where you questioned everything. You questioned your purpose. You questioned your worth. You questioned why people kept leaving. Why doors kept closing. Why life became so heavy. Meanwhile, you watched other people succeed easily. You watched others receive support while you struggled alone. And secretly, you wondered, God, why does it feel like everyone else is moving forward except me? Hear this clearly. God hides his strongest soldiers before he reveals them. David was hidden before he became king. Joseph was betrayed before he ruled. Jesus was rejected before resurrection. Chosen people are always processed in isolation, because isolation is where spiritual strength is born. And many of you have mistaken your isolation for punishment. But it was preparation. God was teaching you how to survive without applause, without validation, without people constantly cheering you on, because where he is taking you, you cannot depend on human approval. You must depend on him. Listen, the reason your battles felt personal is because hell recognized your destiny before people did. That is why attacks came early. That is why betrayal came from people you loved. That is why you experienced heartbreak after heartbreak. The enemy wanted your spirit broken before your purpose awakened, but somehow you survived. Somehow you kept going. Even when your heart was tired, even when your mind was exhausted, even when nobody checked on you, you kept moving. That was not normal strength. That was divine strength. God carried you when you could not carry yourself. And heaven watched every tear, Every sleepless night, every silent prayer, every moment you almost quit, God saw it all. Hear this clearly. The suffering was not meaningless, the delay was not punishment, the silence was not abandonment. God was building something inside you that success alone could never create. He was building discernment, patience, wisdom, spiritual vision, power. Because some people are blessed quickly, but they are not built deeply. Chosen ones are built deeply. That is why your process took longer. God needed your roots strong enough to survive the storm attached to your destiny. Listen carefully. Many people liked you when you were weak, but they became uncomfortable when your spirit started awakening. They loved the broken version of you, the insecure version, the doubtful version. But once God started healing you, their energy changed, because not everybody can handle the light God placed inside you. Some people were assigned to distract you, some were assigned to delay you, some were assigned to study you, and some were assigned to betray you. But hear this clearly. Nobody can curse what God has chosen. Nobody can destroy what heaven protects. God is saying, they lied about you, but I still chose you. They rejected you, but I still called you. They underestimated you, but I still anointed you. Listen, your enemies thought your silence meant weakness. But they did not know God was training you in secret. While they were talking, you were transforming. While they were laughing, you were becoming spiritually dangerous. While they celebrated too early, God was preparing your comeback. And now, what they mocked is about to rise in power. This next season of your life will confuse people because they only saw the pain. They never saw the preparation. They saw the tears, but not the prayers. They saw the isolation, but not the transformation. They saw you struggling, but they did not see heaven building you into a weapon. Listen carefully. There are some blessings that only arrive after complete breaking, because before elevation, God must remove pride, fear, dependence on people, and our identity, and hidden weakness. That is why your process felt painful. God was removing everything that could destroy your future. Hear this clearly. Some of you cried because people walked away. But if they stayed, they would have destroyed your assignment. Some people had to leave. Some relationships had to end. Some doors had to close. Because destiny requires separation, and chosen people often walk lonely roads, not because they are unloved, but because they are called. Listen, the loneliness changed you. It forced you to seek God deeper. It forced you to hear His voice. It forced you to discover strength you never knew existed. And now, you are not the same person anymore. You cannot return to shallow living. You cannot return to fake environments. You cannot return to people who drain your spirit. Because awakening changes everything. God is opening your spiritual eyes. You are beginning to discern hidden intentions. You are beginning to feel when environments are wrong. You are beginning to recognize spiritual warfare. And that awareness is not imagination. It is spiritual maturity. Hear this clearly. The warfare increased because your breakthrough is near. The enemy attacks hardest before transition. That is why your mind has been under pressure. That is why discouragement tried to consume you. That is why fear kept whispering, "Nothing will change." But God is saying, the storm was never sent to destroy you. It was sent to reveal who you are, and who you are is chosen, anointed, protected, called. Listen carefully. There are people who will soon watch God honor you publicly. The same people who doubted you, the same people who ignored you, the same people who thought your story was over. God is preparing a table in front of them, not to make you arrogant, but to reveal his power, because when God lifts someone, no human being can stop it. Your honor is about to be seen. Your prayers are about to be answered. Your hidden tears are about to become visible testimony. And hear this clearly. Do not seek revenge. God did not bring you this far to make you bitter. Stay humble, stay prayerful, stay aligned with heaven. Because your greatest victory will not be proving people wrong. Your greatest victory will be becoming who God created you to be. Listen, you survived things that should have destroyed you. You carried pain that nobody knew about. You smiled while your soul was bleeding. You fought battles in silence. And still, you are here. That means God is not finished with you. Hear this clearly. Your story is entering a new chapter, a chapter of restoration, a chapter of clarity, a chapter of spiritual authority, a chapter where God separates you from confusion and places you into purpose. The waiting was not wasted. The pain was not wasted. The betrayal was not wasted. Everything is being used for your elevation, and the people who tried to bury your name will witness God restoring your honor, because what God speaks must come to pass. So do not quit now. Do not lose faith now. Do not let temporary pain convince you that your destiny disappeared. Your breakthrough is closer than you think. God is moving behind the scenes. Heaven is arranging what you cannot yet see, and suddenly, without warning, your life will shift. The doors will open, the answers will come, the peace will return, the opportunity will arrive. And you will finally understand why God kept you hidden for so long, because he was preparing a table in front of your enemies. Listen carefully. There are people who celebrated your suffering. They smiled in your face while secretly hoping you would fail. They watched your struggles. They heard your cries, and instead of helping, they judged you. Some betrayed you in secret, some betrayed you openly, some disappeared when you needed them most, and some only loved you when you were useful. Hear this clearly. God saw every hidden betrayal, every manipulation, every false smile, every conversation behind your back. Nothing escaped heaven. And while your enemies thought they were defeating you, God was allowing separation, because fake people cannot enter your next season. Listen, one of the hardest lessons chosen people must learn is that not everybody connected to you is assigned to you. Some people are seasonal, some people are distractions, and some people are tests. The pain came because your heart was genuine. You loved deeply, you trusted sincerely, you gave people chances they did not deserve, and because your spirit carried light, you attracted both love and jealousy. Hear this clearly. People often attack what they secretly envy, and many of your enemies never hated you for weakness. They hated you because they sensed greatness on your life, even before you saw it yourself. That is why they tried to discourage you. That is why they tried to confuse you. That is why they tried to break your confidence. Because darkness becomes uncomfortable around someone chosen by God. Listen carefully. You thought losing people meant losing everything. But sometimes losing people is heaven protecting your future. God removed those who could not celebrate your elevation. Because where God is taking you, there is no room for hidden envy, no room for fake loyalty, no room for spiritual sabotage. Hear this clearly. Your loneliness was holy. Your isolation was necessary. Your silence was sacred. God pulled you away from noise so he could rebuild your identity. And during that hidden season, you changed. You became stronger, wiser, more discerning, more spiritually aware. You stopped chasing approval. You stopped begging people to stay. You stopped shrinking yourself to make others comfortable. Because suffering awakened the real you. Listen, there were nights you cried yourself to sleep. Nights where your chest felt heavy. Nights where you wondered if anybody truly understood your pain. But heaven was near. God was listening. Angels were guarding you while you slept. And even when you felt abandoned, God never left your side. Hear this clearly. The enemy wanted your heartbreak to destroy your faith. But instead, it pushed you closer to God. The betrayal made you pray harder. The rejection made you seek deeper. The loneliness made you spiritually awake. And now, you carry wisdom that pain created. That is why you cannot fit into your old life anymore. You outgrew it. God transformed you through suffering. Listen carefully. Your breakthrough is not just material. This is deeper than money, deeper than status, deeper than recognition. God is restoring your spirit, your peace, your confidence, your joy, your identity. And once God restores the inside, the outside begins to change too. Hear this clearly. People are about to witness a version of you they never expected. Calm, focused, spiritually powerful, emotionally healed, divinely protected. And that transformation will confuse those who tried to break you because they expected you to stay wounded forever. But God heals His chosen. Listen, the table God is preparing is not only about success, it is about vindication, it is about restoration. It is about heaven publicly revealing that you were never forgotten. Your enemies saw your struggle. Now they will see your rising. The same God who sustained you in hiddenness will honor you openly. And hear this clearly. Do not become distracted by revenge. God did not preserve you so you could become bitter. He preserved you because your story will inspire others. There are people watching your survival, people silently learning from your endurance, people who will regain hope because you refuse to quit. Listen carefully. You are entering a season where discernment will become essential. Not every opportunity is from God. Not every smiling face carries good intentions. Not every open door should be entered. Pray before every decision, move with wisdom. Because when God begins elevating chosen people, spiritual attacks often intensify. The enemy sends distractions before destiny, counterfeit connections before divine alignment, confusion before breakthrough. But hear this clearly. You are no longer spiritually asleep. You can feel when something is wrong. You can sense hidden energy. You can recognize manipulation faster. That is not paranoia. That is spiritual awakening. Listen, some of you have been asking God for signs, and this message is one of them. God is saying, I know your pain. I know your exhaustion. I know the battles nobody else sees. But do not give up now. Your breakthrough is closer than ever. Hear this clearly. The waiting season created endurance. The heartbreak created wisdom. The betrayal created discernment. The silence created faith. And now, God is about to use everything that hurt you. Nothing will be wasted. Not one tear, not one lonely night, not one painful memory. God will turn your suffering into testimony. Listen carefully. There is a shift happening in the spirit. What once blocked you will suddenly move. What once delayed you will suddenly release. What once confused you will suddenly become clear, because divine timing is arriving, and when God says it is time, no force can stop it. Hear this clearly. You have survived too much to quit now. You have come too far to surrender now. You did not endure all that pain for nothing.